Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome back to Hiveswap Friendsim. I'm glad you came back after that last interesting episode of the very last volume of Volume 18 of Endings Many. And now we are on the very last episode of Friendsim, so let's just get straight into it, shall we? We already saw at the beginning, based off the last video, which, again, might not recommend that one to your friends. But we're on to Barzum and Baizli. You've gotten pretty good at the old friend-making game by now, but even an old hand at paling around like you, a real platonic Latharo has bad nights sometimes. Tonight was one of those nights. I would like a non-interesting night too. It's definitely weird. It's getting closer to morning, and not a friend in sight. You meet new people, sure, but none of your conversations had panned out the way you wanted them to, which every interaction has come close to with your friend count. Your every interaction had come to a close with your friend count no higher than when you'd started. No matter how many compliments, offers to help, and other tried and true friending strategies you whipped out, you don't stand for it. You're determined to finish out the night with at least one more new buddy's name in your little black friendship book. But with the sun's about to rise, you have to admit you're cutting it a little close. Yeah, 'cause the sun is god-awful on this planet. Each minute ticks by and the sky gets a little lighter, and the possibility of dying in an agonizing fiery death gets higher. Maybe it's best for you to just pack it in and find somewhere to spend the day. You pick up your trusty palm husk and call up one of your many friends. You already had to ask if you can crash. Hell, maybe Skyla will be up for sharing a replicon again. The soothing ooze has kind of grown on you, and sleeping next to Skyla has always made you feel comfy and safe. Turns out Skyla is more than down with you coming over. Time to make tracks. You turn tail and hurry in the direction of Skyla's digs, but it's not long until you run into a distraction. Oh no, what kind of distraction? The distraction is in the form of a house. It's a dark, crooked thing, hulking clothes in the ground, shattered wood walls, sloping roofs, vines clinging to it like dust and cobwebs cling to forgotten things in the attic. Something about it feels off. It possesses a certain energy that sends shivers up your spine, making your hands stand up on ends. An instinct deep in your gut is telling you to give it a wide berth. Yes, give it a wide berth. You've already made plans with Skyla. On the other hand, it's shelter. Skyla's place is a ways off yet, while the house right here is in front of you. Why would you go into the creepy haunted house? I know it's for the volume, but still, I feel like that's very idiotic. Well, the house here, right, it could be worth seeing if whoever lives here is be willing to put you up for the day. No way. Yeah, no, that's not happening. Didn't you just establish this place gives you the heebiest of jeebies? Plus, there's always the chance that the inhabitant will cull you instead of help you. You're sticking to your original plan. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad someone's listening to my plan. Firmly ignoring the house, you continue on your way. You make good progress for a while. Your map's app says you're heading in the right direction, except... what the fuck? Why are you here again? Did you just take a wrong turn somewhere? Whatever, you're not gonna dwell on it. Time is running out, and you need to get away from this stupid house pronto. Make sure to do it right. This time you'll go... Okay, you split, breaking into a jog. The scenery flicks past you as you pick up the pace, urgency spurring you on. It's getting even lighter. Won't be long now. What? You check your palm husk again. You're right back where you started, even though just a moment ago, the map's GPS had put you a decent distance away. This is ridiculous. There's obviously something weird going on. You think? But the suns are creeping over the horizon. Time's up. I don't like this. There's nothing else for it. You make your way toward the house, even though everything inside you is screaming at you to stay away, even though every step that you take, your chest tightens and your hands tremble. By the time you reach the door, you're shaking like a leaf. Adrenaline zings through you. You could choke on it. You want to run, but you force yourself to keep moving forward. Why are we doing this? Why is this like this? I want to stay away from the spooky house. It's a slow motion race between you and the sunrise, and this way the suns will make it all the way up before you can even knock. You drag yourself the rest of the way, stumbling onto the front step. The door knocker is intricate yet grotesque thing. I'm guessing yet a grotesque thing. An undulating tongue rolling out of a set of sharp teeth, all in cast iron. You grab the lumpy end of the tongue and bang it against the door. Nothing. Fuck. Maybe you'll get lucky and the door will open? Out of options. Reach out and turn the doorknob. You can feel the first licks of sunlight against the back of your neck. Is it just you, or is your skin starting to blister? We've established this before. The sun on here is god-awful and no one likes it. So why are we even... I don't know, this entire thing sucks. But today is your lucky day. The door opens. You should feel overjoyed at your life being spared. Instead, your focus is fully on how rolling in your belly has ballooned fully into nausea. In the distance, inexplicably, is the pearl of sirens, an instant whining noise that only continues getting louder. You shouldn't have come here, but it's not like you had another choice. You might as well see what awaits you inside. But as soon as you cross the threshold, the world lurches and you pass out. You come to in a different room than the foyer, head ringing like someone whacked it. When you move to sit up, there's a sound of skittering all around, like hundreds of tiny insects are scurrying away to safety. Had they been robbing the floor while you've been knocked out? Gross. You prop yourself back up on your hands and take a look around. Your impromptu nap has done nothing to assuage this deep sense of wrongness you have about this place. I am glad that But hey, maybe you managed to sleep through the day. Maybe the sun has set again, so you can get the hell out of here. The sense of optimism is misplaced, probably, but it's not as if you can check. There are no windows. Great. Of course there's no windows. There's always no windows. You cast your peeling eyes around the room. Underneath the floral peeling wallpaper, the walls are riddled with damp moldu. And the other side of the room, an open door, and thank fuck. You aren't locked in, then. You can go somewhere else in the place that might have gotten a damn window. Clouds. I don't like this whatsoever. You step into a long, winding corridor. It's so cramped you can feel almost as though the walls are closing in. Yeah, no kidding. You feel it's been warm enough outside, and here a deep chill settles over you, sinking deep into your bones. You're half convinced you'll never be warm again. Emanating from somewhere you can see is music, tiny, rhythmic, and it's soon interrupted by crackling noise, like someone trying to tune into the correct radio station on a radio. No, it's correct station on a radio. So then one of the picture frames lights up. Looks like it's actually some sort of TV screen. Welcome. We're glad you're awake, and that you came to visit us. We've been really bored. It's in a stinky old house. It really sucked. We could have just died from how boring it was. One monotonous and so quiet you can barely hear it. The other is shrill dynamic like the owner never learned from the meaning of the words indoor voices. Okay. Catching what the quieter person is saying isn't made with a high-pitched giggle that starts up in the background whether they start speaking. So hurry up and find us! We want to play a game. Gee, why do those words give you such a profound sense of deja vu? I don't like this at all, but I don't like this. Why do we have to do this? The line goes dead. At the same time, a door props open at the other end of the corridor. You're meant to go through it, you guess. You would rather go somewhere else, anywhere else, other than the door, but there's nowhere else to go. Where is there? Let's, I guess, search for another exit. No, there has to be something else here. Exactly, there's always got to be something else. Ignoring the voice's instructions, you examine the walls of the corridor instead. Soon enough, you notice something funny about one of the paintings. Its frames seem to be much thicker than the others, which strikes you as somehow suspicious. Feeling along its bottom edge reveals a button. You push it. There's a groaning sound, and part of the wall folds itself away, revealing a tunnel of some sort. Ha! You knew it! You're so focused on trying to make your escape that you rush through the opening without looking. If you had been more careful, you might have noticed one very important thing. Past this doorway, there is no floor. Of course, but why am I not surprised? So, your feet move meet thin air, pitching you downwards. Drat, you think, as you plunge toward the pit of knives beneath you. Reached a follower milestone on Chitter the other day too, and you hadn't got around to rethinking any of your friends in case something like this happens. Your final regretful thoughts of your account Justine abandoned with no other there to continue to update you after you're gone. Game over. I'm gonna jog. This is just the both of the choices from leaving the house is the same. So this time we're going to approach the door. Okay, sudden lots of colors. Was not expecting that actually. Your wariness only intensifies once you set off down the hall because the walls start fucking bleeding. You've seen enough troll blood at this point to be able to recognize it. Yeah, it's not exactly the most fun thing to see. When multicolored streams ooze over the wallpaper and faded portraits lining the wall, collecting, revealing in sticky, viscous puddles on the floor. The narrow hallway becomes steeped in stench of copper. You walk faster, but the streams of blood follow you, sucking down from the ceiling as quickly as you walk. Of course. You reach the door, eager to get away from this grisly sight. You throw it open, but oh god, you haven't considered what might be waiting for you behind it. What if these two shady characters plan to torture you, tie you up and steal your palm husk, texting embarrassing messages to your friends, while you can only look on in horror, helpless and unable to intervene? Anything but that! That is not the worst possible thing that can happen, my friend. Trust me. It's too dark to see anything. All you can do is fumble and feel around with your hands. Getting out of the room is a no-go, but the door swung shut behind you as soon as you stepped inside. I'm not surprised. You shuffle forward on wobbly legs. The floor feels unstable somehow, like it's going to open up and swallow you at any moment. Would it be a good idea to call out to see if anyone's here? You manage a feeble hello. Your voice echoes, soft laughter reverberates back in response. You catch a glimpse of something from a corner of your eye, a flash of purple. I guess that could be good. There's a sensation of your eyes on the back of your neck watching you, but you can't discern where the other present in the room is, if there even is one. I kinda hate this. All of the shitty welcomes you received, this one takes the cake. You have to get out of here. You try to gather your panic thoughts together to formulate a plan, but before you can do anything, a series of ropes appear seemingly from nowhere, coiling tight around you and holding you down. You're finally here. We've been waiting for you. A light comes on. It's not warm. It's not the warm, burning rays of sunlight. This room is windowless too, but a spotlight, bright and harsh. It lights up a broad swath of the room, bleaching it white and sending long shadows stretching away from it. You can see your captors more clearly now. 2 purple-blood kids. Aside from their expressions, they look exactly the same. A manic glint sparkles in the eye of one of them, as sharp as his razor blade grin. The other looks more hesitant, sad. We're Baizli and Barzum. You're the alien, ain't ya? You look weird. Your body's real weird. We wonder what color your blood is. Or your acid tubes are. They squirm around like slither beasts when you slice open trolls' bellies. Oh no. Oh, why is this a thing? Are yours the same? You struggle against your bonds. You have no idea what acid tubes are, but you would much rather they stay inside your body where they belong, thanks. You thought you moved past the days where you had to serve as a torture muppet. All you needed was a few hours of shelter from the sun, and if it was safe to go outside again, you'd really like to leave. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just want to go. This was the wrong thing to say, apparently. The twins leer at you disapprovingly, or well, one of them looks so disappointed he might burst into tears. The other just looks pissed. No way! We told you. You've been so bored. Do you know what it's like? To be all alone, with no one else to play with. For wipes! We might have each other, we're never truly alone. That's what makes us being us so great. But it's a little difficult to play pranks on someone who always knows what you're thinking and feeling. Wait, you thought Barzum was the quiet one and Brazil was the loud one, but it looks like you were mistaken? Or did they switch? Yeah, they swapped. Why is that so surprising? If you aren't faced with this prospect of having your innards yanked out and played with by bloodthirsty children, you might be more puzzled by their statements. As it stands, you have more pressing problems on your mind right now, so their words more or less fly over your heads. Of course. You squirm harder, even though it doesn't do any good. In fact, it just seems to make the twins madder. Sadder? You settle on smatter. Stop trying to get away. It's always like this. Nobody ever wants to play with us. We hate it. Now hold still. I wish I could do 2 voices at once, but I haven't figured that out editing out wise. You look at them beseechingly, trying to appear as small as helpless as possible. Maybe it's a little pathetic giving puppy eyes to little children, but you lost track of your own dignity a long time ago. Yeah. They are not really going to do this, right? Are they? Are they not? A noise starts up. It sounds suspiciously like a chainsaw. And is it just you, or is there the scent of raw meat in the air? Where the hell is it coming from? You continue straining in your bonds, stomach clenching in fear, bile rising at the back of your throat. They're not actually going to hurt you, right? So God, oh God, oh God, oh. But you aren't strapped down anymore. That's definitely different. You're in the same room that you were at the beginning. What happened? The room hasn't changed since you've been gone. There's still only one way out. You really, really don't want to step through the door. You step through the door. There's that radio crackling again. Welcome. Welcome. We're glad you're awake. The little greeting goes on like it had before. Pre-recorded message, maybe? Your heart pounds as you step through the second door. You're hoping you'll be able to sidestep the ropes this time, but instead of getting tied up, you trip forward to a vat of what feels like glue. You're lucky enough to have turned your face stickiness, so your nose is still above the surface so you can breathe. For now, anyways, but you can't move. Finally here. We've been waiting for you. You're acting like it was the first time all over again. What is this fuckery? Are they messing with you? You've already met me minutes ago. No, we would have remembered. Meeting a weirdo like you. Stop trying to trick us. Then everything goes black a third time. And here you are again. Welcome. Welcome. Are you for real? This time you're shoved into a box. I'm pretty sure you passed out while you're in the middle of getting buried alive. Oh no, this is... As you come into the room, you're beginning to think of as yours yet again. You passed out 5 times, 10. You begin to lose count. You never pass out at the same point during the twin shenanigans, but it inevitably happens, as you always end up right back where you started. The worst part is while your conversation with the twins stay the same, the way they trap you changes. You get trussied upside down from the ceiling, dunked into a water tank, scrambling to get out while your lungs begin to burn from lack of air. This does not sound fun whatsoever. Every time you black out before you can die, but you almost died dozens of times by now, and it's really beginning to stress you out. You have to be stuck in some sort of time loop. You've seen this sort of thing in movies all the time, and everyone knows that movies are the best points of reference for one's actual life. Sure, buddy. If that's what you think, go right ahead to think that. I just pat you on the head. Year wakes up in the strains of an old pop song playing on the radio, reminiscences over their childhood journals, which sends them back in a time where they have to stop a crime before it happens. Or maybe you're thinking of a different movie. Probably a different movie. Anyway, your point is that you have to find your way out of the loop. Hopefully you won't have to do anything too wild, like stab your past self and then throw your own bloody corpse out the window. That would really, really blow. Unfortunately, you can't seem to find any clues indicating what you should do next. You always pass out. The twins are as excited to play with / torture. They don't always seem to be aware of any of this happening, from what you can tell. After around 20 or something or another, you've had it. Enough is enough. Can't take any more giggling, any more of that hard, damp floor, creating games. You might not be any closer to figuring out what to do, but you have to try something. Yeah, it's definitely something. Look at this. There's one thing you're going to do wrong, appealing to the twins to let you go. All they seem to care about is torturing you. Of course, simply asking them for your freedom isn't going to work. You'll do things differently this time. If you want to escape, you'll have to go on the offensive. You wake up again. Of course it didn't work, but why am I so surprised? Disembodied voices, bleeding walls, game, check. You head towards the twins' rooms. Stand back, you yell before they launch into their triad. You're a weird, scaly alien with weird, scaly alien superpowers, and you're not afraid to use them. You switch on your phone's torch app, waving it around. You even attempt an intimidating roar for added effect. The only superpowers you're aware of is an irresistible charm and a set of truly banging gams, but they don't need to know that. Your gambit works. They don't cower in fear exactly, but they're bamboozled enough. Sure, for you to look frantically around the room as much as you can with a partial light source. There, an air vent with a loose grill. With a desperate yell, you launch yourself up toward it and crawl inside. The twins, fondly aware that this is all an elaborate ruse, start shouting after you. The twins' ingrate voices start to fade as you wiggle deeper into the dusty guts of the house. You can't have very long. It's only a matter of time until the diminutive terrorists climb into the vents after you. Of course. Why wouldn't they? Or maybe they'll run ahead and cut you off via one of the other rooms the vents connected to. They must know the layout of this house better than you do. Much to your surprise, though, you re-emerge at one of the outside walls with no trouble. It's dusk, not day, for which you mutter quick thank you to your merciful overlords. From here, it's a simple matter of picking your way down the vines until you get to the bottom. Once your feet touch ground, you start running. When you cast one wide glance back at your shoulders, you catch a sight of them, your captors, who've you successfully hoodwinked. Sure, successfully hoodwinked, sure. That's totally what we did. They're standing in the grand front doorway screaming. You have no idea why they aren't coming after you, but you don't question it, pumping your legs until they're burning. If you spent all the time jogging with Salsa, you would have really gotten good at running away from your problems. Excuse me. You stop running once you can't see the house anymore. You're a little surprised that getting away turned out to be, but you know better than to look a gift hoof beast in the squawk gapper. Yeah. Relief floods in you in waves. You did it! You got away! You slow down in a leisure walking pace, pulling out your phone as you go. You have a slew from texts from Skylar, who's been wondering what happened to you after you never turned up. The invitation to come over and hang out still stands, though. Oh boy, you can't wait to finally make your way over there and chill with her. You never play favorites amongst your pals, but you have to admit that you hold a particular fondness for Skylar. Her whole thing where she always makes sure not to cause any bodily harm definitely has its charms. Oh no, we're still in the time loop, oh no. You keep walking, but after a while your stomach starts to sink. It's been half an hour and your surroundings don't look any different. You should have been closer to Skylar's neck of the woods by now. It's not until you catch sight of a weathered wall all around with ivy that you realize where it's going on. It's the house again. You're still stuck. You're not going to be able to leave its grounds no matter how much you walk. Of course you can't. You might have escaped the house, but whatever curse or time-space witchcraft this isn't confined to within those walls. You're in a pocket dimension of some sort, and you don't know how to break out. So you can either return to the twins, since they're the only company you have out here, or you can make these bushes your new best friends. I like the idea of making friends with the bushes. The bushes seem great. You dolefully look at the miles of scraggy underbrush before you. You probably best get used to gazing at nothing but this, since it's all you're going to be seeing for a long, long time. Forever lost. There's one thing you've been doing wrong, making this all about escape. You've been so preoccupied with not getting sliced to pieces with knives and everything that you've lost track of what's truly important. The war that echoes in your heart when you rise at dusk and pulses through your bloodstream during the rest of your waking hours. Oh no, until it's time to go to sleep. The word that's kicked off every single narrative you started in thus far. You'll do things differently this time. You're going to bring yourself to truly care about these little clown children, goddammit, even if it's the last thing you do. And with the way things are going, it very well could be. I don't like the sound of that. Their MO is oddly benign this time, a tickling machine. Unfortunately, it's a little difficult for you to do all the laughter. What are those noises they're making? I think they're trying to tell us something. Miraculously, the tickling stops. You wheeze, trying to catch your breath, hoping to God you haven't peed. You manage not to wet yourself out of fear until now. It would just be the worst to have broken your shriek due to laughing too hard. What are these clowns and your devastating body of waste? After assuring yourself that your underwear is blessedly dry, you ask, if they kill you, won't they just be alone again? How is that beneficial for anyone? Exactly. They'll probably be bored and you'll be dead, which you'd rather not be. The creeping Sakura smiles transforms into matching expressions of confusion. Barzum puts a finger on her chin, cocking her head to one side as if deep in thoughts, almost like a puppy. Under any other circumstance, you might even consider it cute. What are you talking about? They don't want to kill you. Maybe just cut you a little. They'll heal you right back up again. Don't be such a wriggler. Some of the things they've tried to inflict on you would have definitely taken more of your regular human healing functions to recover from. Sure, okay. But wait, you think back to Emil talking to a whole ass club in her side acting like it was no big. She said something about higher blood colors being able to take more of a beating too. Are the twins assuming that's the case for everyone? God, this is what happens when all the adults in a society go off planet and leave a bunch of zoo animals to bring up their kids. Or well, trolls. Also solve most of their problems by killing each other. You can't discount that either, you suppose. Sure, I guess, maybe, potentially, sure. Take a close look at the twins. There isn't any malice in either of their faces. The only emotion you can discern is idle curiosity. You decide to take that as encouragement. You explain that, no, you won't heal up from being sliced open or from an on-fire scuttle buggy being flung at your head because you're a human, and humans heal differently from trolls. Well, differently from high-blood trolls, at least. Yeah, you even use your best babysitter. You feel like you're giving a stern talking to about the importance of taking care of one's toys so they don't break. Instead, you propose, why don't you be friends? You can all play together instead of being the subject of their torment. They'll be able to play with you for longer, though. They give you a strange look. Friends? What's that? Do they not agree to be their playmates very often? No. Usually everyone runs the other direction, so you have to catch them, or trick them. That explains a lot. You think you're beginning to understand. That does kind of make sense, actually. Which is kind of weird to think about since, everything going on, but you just gotta roll with the flow. If they let you down, you can try and show them what you have in mind. They do. They actually free you. They turn all of the lights in the room, too, so you can finally see everything in it. Well, this is very tried and true of children. So it's pure chaos. So what else do they do with all this stuff? They're still staring at you as if they aren't quite sure how to deal with you engaging with them voluntarily. You're feeling pretty tentative yourself. Yeah, this is definitely very unusual. But sometimes you just gotta go with it. This whole interaction seems incredibly precarious. You're afraid that if you make a misstep, you'll end up back in the tickling rack again. This isn't ours. We found it when we got here. But it does look a lot like what's in our hive. You can do shows and stunts. All kinds of cool stuff. Fuck, even when they aren't threatening you, the way they talk in chorus like that freaks you out a little. Perfect unison, like they're one voice instead of two. Is it really that surprising? You shake off your fears and suggest that they show you a little something. They seem to like that idea. Excitedly, they scurry over to the target board. One twin stands against it while the other picks up a handful of throwing knives. You're anxious. You don't exactly want to rough up each other instead of you, but Barzum just throws the knives just in a graceful arc. They always found Brazier perfectly, barely missing him. You gasp, your mouth a perfect O. The twins seemed very pleased with themselves, laughing together like they're sharing a secret. You gasp, your mouth a perfect O. The twins seem pleased with themselves, laughing together like they're sharing a secret. If you think that's impressive, watch this! They execute a slick flip on a pair of trapeze above a bed of swords, making a dare escape from one of the contraptions they trapped you in. They move similarly to how they speak, perfectly in tandem with each other. With the variety of obsessions you've seen with your friends, it figures that it was only a matter of time until you met someone who made a hobby of risking their lives. It's not too out there compared to the cage fighting, you suppose, or collecting saucy East Artarian figures. You could have just escaped from the trap we put you in earlier, no? Why didn't you? You laughed nervously. You haven't exactly had much practice, and maybe it would have been easier if you had someone else to help? You look at the two of them pointedly. You didn't even realize siblings were a thing among trolls, let alone twins. Sibling? What's that? You know, someone you share luscus with? Someone you hatched in the same clutch? Are you phrasing that right? We do share luscus. We share everything. We didn't hatch from the same clutch. We hatched from the same egg. We were going to be a single troll, but we split in two. Just our bodies, though. Our minds are still one. One person, two bodies. We're one and the same. Okay, maybe siblings aren't a thing on Terra after all. Being literally the same person is quite a bit different from the human concept of twins or siblings. Somehow, this leads to them telling you all about a number of exploits they had with some of the other kids in their neighborhood. One story leads to another, and soon you're recounting some of your own adventures too. They particularly love your attempt at giving an impression of Nikki, clapping and crowding as you get into a dramatic power stance and flex your flimsy muscles. Feel a little proud of yourself. Feel like the guy on Jurassic Park who walked into the Velociraptor's den, all "beat you, my dudes," and they actually listened to him. Besides, there's something great about making even kids who are trying to murder you in less than an hour ago. The twins are in the middle of talking about a prank they played that they found hilarious, and that you've been trying hard not to grimace in horror at all when you feel it. A certain change in the air. Didn't they mention they had been stuck here? Did we? Yes, we have. When we tried to go out the door, some sort of force pushes us back. You're the first other person we've seen since we got here. You have a hunch that might have changed. Why don't you all try it again? They look at you skeptically. If you want. It's not going to be any different, though. You just tell them to trust you. You look at the front door. The twins are crowding you from either side, clinging onto your arms and edging so close, it's like they're trying to burrow into you. Ready? They nod, and you push against the door. It opens, and you breathe in the cool evening air. Not so fast. We've gone this far before. We won't be able to go any further. You'll see. You take one step, then another. As you look beyond the grounds of the house, you see things you hadn't seen when you first got here. Mountains in the distance, other houses. Before, all you could see was shrubbery. Pick up the pace, the house falling away behind you, disappearing into the fog. Wow! You did it! You actually did it! We can finally leave. They swoop in to grab you, hugging you hard. The curving horn of their masks almost stab you in their cheek. These things are a little bit of a hazard when their wearers only come up to about where your chest is. They keep talking before you can get a word in, pulling you forward and shuffling you along between them. It looks like you're right. It wasn't just enough to save yourself, you had to save them too. You don't know how, but the key to making this little patch of universe obey the rules of reality once more was friendship all along. You should have seen your face. Your game too's terrified. You heave a sigh as their innocent system giggling surrounds you like so many playful ghosts. Yes, you say, very clever. They weren't the ones behind all this nonsense, were they? Started guessing somewhere toward the end, you wiggle your hands vaguely, all the time stuff. They sure scared you, alright. No, that wasn't us. We were talking about the bloody walls and creepy sounds. None of that was real. That was all us. That was all Chucko Voodoos. You're the best at Chucko Voodoos. We got you so good. They both bounce at you excitedly. You blink down at them. You have no Chucko Voodoos are, but you can only guess that it's some sort of illusionary thing. So they didn't have anything to do with time messing up, folding in on itself? No. We told you. We've been trying to get out of that stupid house. For wipes. Do you really think that was our hive? Our place is so much cooler than that dump. Visit their actual hive? Yeah, reservations about that, but you can't find it within you to say no as they eagerly pull you along, one tugging your hand, the other looping your arm in yours. You look back at the house one last time. You have no clue whether the twins are lying or if they're telling the truth. what really colors what's happening here, but right now, you're content enough knowing that you'll never have to see that place again. Sure. No. I understand. Yes. Of course you do. Your sort of creature always does. You're worn out. Last night was, well, it sure was definitely something. You lived, probably. You learned, definitely. You made choices. You had to. And after all this time, here you still are. So after a day of repercussion and from ragers and houses of horror, you're walking out the streets of the place you may as well start calling your home. You've changed out of your party gear, opting for your old hoodie's standby. It fits the mood you're in. Not really looking to meet anyone new tonight. Well, like, you wouldn't say no, probably, but you're josting it for it. Only a little. It's complicated. After an interminable amount of minutes of aimless walking, you look around at where you ended up. You seem to have wandered into a dirt pile. Oh, you know this dirt pile. It's Falls's corpse field. How did you get here, or you wonder? You're pretty sure you're just on the other side of the city, with no particular desire to come anywhere near here. It's probably fine, just your deep innate bro-honing skills taking over your goddamn body, just little friendship things. You look around for your pal Folzer, peeking down into a few deeper holes. You might as well say hello since you're here, after all. Holy shit, that again? Curiosity killed the cat, but you're definitely got more than 9 lives, so you shrug and slide not gracefully down into the shiny hole. Fawzier's nowhere to be found, but there is a window here. It's almost completely unearthed, and doesn't take much effort to free it the rest of the way. At first you think it might be some cool new trash you can make art with, but when you look closer, you reconsider. There's a whole ass room you can see through the pane of glass lying at your feet. That's weird. Weirdness isn't typically a deterrent for you, but usually there's at least some casual coherence. Doors are in walls, walls surrounding rooms. You aren't used to finding parlors and ditches. Is there a latch or something? You should polite a little knock. There might be friends in there. Damn, you really could go for some friends right now. Is there a protocol for approaching ditch when... Allow me to stop you there. I am a timeless being of the void, but even my patience has its limits. Fun is fun, but this frivolous nail-gazing is no longer necessary. Come in from behind the shadow of that narrative text. It's so very hard to see your face. You aren't sure where you are, and it's unsurprisingly a little nerve-wracking. You look over your shoulder at the window. You guess you just fucking came through. The Arterian sky is framed by the edge of your dirt hole, and the knot in your stomach loosens a bit. Hopefully that means this is a two-way portal. And there is our time orb gob from Homestuck, if you guys ever read that. You turn to look at your surroundings, and oh, there's someone here. The guy you heard, you assume. He doesn't look like any other of the aliens you met. Oh, no, I'm not an alien, or no more than any of us are alien to each other. In fact, nothing is alien to me. The root concept behind that term is alienation, being forced from that which is natural. Nothing is unnatural to me. I look upon all realities as equally inviting and approachable. It's you, my dear, who are out of place. I could see that even if I am not omniscient, which I am. Okay, so not an alien, with no horns or cast sign, though he's definitely not a troll. Whoever he is, he seems to be white, just really white and round, and his outfit is admittedly kinda dope. Looking at him ramps up your friend thirst. He's just got this quality about him that you've got to get with. You take a step forward him almost without thinking about it. Oh, my apologies. That compulsion has become extraneous. Let me take care of it for you. He snaps his fingers and your knees buckle. The force of the universe presses down on you like G-force. You blink and, Somehow he's there immediately, arms outstretched to catch you as you fall. He steers you to a chasse lounge and you drape yourself weakly to it. Please, have a seat. The emotional transition might be a tad uncomfortable, but I know you handled worse. You say you're quite the soldier. Allow me to be the first to say I am very pleased with your work. I knew exactly what you're going to do, of course, and most of your work was, in fact, my work. Regardless, congratulations are in order. What is this guy talking about? Your work? You try to parse what he's saying, but your body is still shaking from whatever he did to you. And it's hard to think in here. You suddenly sharply don't feel friendly toward him at all anymore, or toward anyone. The void left by that feeling is a freshly gaping horror. It's like you thought you were caved in itself, a black hole of personality eating your body up from the inside. You try to pull your shit together. It seems like he means business. This is no time to lose it, no matter if your sense of self is scattering. When you truly reflect on yourself, you surely can't, with any honesty, came to believe any of this was by your own making. Crash landing on a hostile alien world, surviving the impact, dragging on a half-broken body and somehow not immediately being eaten by local fauna? Did you learn an alien language just by thinking about it very, very hard? Right. Alex said something about that you were speaking perfect Artarian, and it was kind of weird, but you kind of just accepted it. For no good reason, that's your whole deal. Your friends all accepted your quirks. That's what friends do. You say it to convince yourself as much as it to prove it to him. So many trolls, so many fascinating aliens, and all of them wanted to know you. Did you really think you managed that on your own laurels? Were they all drawn to indefinable something, a je ne sais quoi? Let's see here. My not something. What am I not seeing or something? I only know a little bit of French. I know je is I or me. Ne is usually not, or like something relating to counteractive. Quo is usually who, what, where, when, how. I know C is a transition. So what am I not? I think it's what am I not seeing? Well, yeah, you had this whole emotional arc. You got self-confidence. You grew as a person and helped others to grow. This white text guy doesn't make an expression, but you get the feeling he's looking at you pityingly. I found your answers sweet. Honestly, I do. I don't intend to cause emotional injury. I'm just telling you the truth. I never lie, you'll find. It isn't like you don't have admirable qualities of your own, of course. You've made quite the valuable vessel for me, and I appreciate that very much. I could not have done it without you. I'm only joking. I absolutely could have done it without you. It's just infinitely more fun to do with these things together, is it not? What things? What did he do? What did you do? You hope you didn't do something that would fuck over all your friends. Though you try to think about them now, the bonds you felt before all come up twisted. Without the artificial friendship drive he's given you pushing you forward, you're not even sure what those memories are supposed to feel like. You close your eyes and breathe. You try to remember Palia touched your face after you touched hers, her claws trailing down your cheek. How Tarzia slept, trusting as you kept watch. How Togora gave you a chance when he saw something in you didn't even see in yourself. How, not that long ago, you got the chittle handle of an extremely friendly jade blood boy. Those moments are like memories of warmth to you now. Blurry, cold, and out of reach. Was all that for nothing? Heart is a chasm. Don't worry so much about it. I simply need some dots connected. Some pieces and places for my next move. Choose whatever metaphor suits you. Whichever way you frame it. Because of you, everyone will soon be in the right places. Shit, what have you done? Your head starts to spin and you think you might cry, so you put your hood up over your head to block out the harsh green of the room. You try to imagine it still smells like a little like Malik. It doesn't. It doesn't smell like anything, really. But you remember what it smelled like at first, and you hold on to that. You try to imagine it was real, you tell yourself. Your friends are real, and what you felt for them and with them was real too. You're so afraid for them, and as guilty as you feel for craving it, the fear just makes you need those feelings you felt before even more. You're clawing desperately for the euphoria of caring, of being cared for. Who cares if your hand was forced? You felt it, and it still matters. You remember how you were watching Trixie perform, bathed in light and righteous anger, and how you were drunkenly commiserated with her later. When no, that's not right. That didn't happen. Except you still remember how hungover you were the next day. Well, everything just flips. Just when you started making sense of things, the whole fucking world shifts under your feet again. You just can't keep up with all the things, all the moving real estate in your brain. Ah, yes, all of the resets, annoying but necessary. You are just indescribably bad at keeping yourself alive and in one piece, and you weren't quite as adept at befriending aliens to start out with. My intervention was necessary to keep you on the right path. Time and space means very little to me, but I had to move quickly and again, repeatedly. Swipe some incriminating note-taking here, befriend an impression young upstart there, anger a koala bear, inspire some bandits. You know how it is. You have to throw the temporal spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. I'm sure if you look back, you will be able to see traces of my deft touch. So a few memories may have slipped through the cracks here and there. Timelines tend to collapse on each other if you aren't careful. Your ability to mentally withstand such an event, and so often, is a testament to my acumen in choosing you for the task. You might even almost caught on a few times, which I must say I was not expecting. Uh, you almost listen to the silly girl who likes to dress up in big coats and cause me trouble, and as always, some bystanders end up caught in the crossfire. The one with the shovel, for instance. I doubt his mind will ever be the same. A pity. You sit up straighter and clench your hands into fists. Over the course of his pompous monologuing, you moves past fear and grief and into a deep, globe-shafting rage. How dare he do this to your mind, to your friends' lives? What is so important that one white old asshole has to fuck with the destinies of everyone you've grown to care about? The answers are out there and you deserve them, and so you demand them. Horrible. Yikes. You shift on the chair's lounge so as to better hide your famous legs from this creepy round motherfucker. Oh, calm down. All of you and your adherence to societal expectations and archetypes. Perhaps one day you could just learn to take a compliment. Besides, I was just being condescending, so you demand answers. He sighs theatrically. You're unsure where his nose is coming from. He doesn't have a mouth. How is he even talking? How the fuck does he anything work at all? I know you would, but I find explaining myself incredibly tedious. Suffice to say, I'm a man of many boards and fields to play, and although there are countless ways to move the players across those boards, some are doubtlessly more entertaining than others. You're simply one pawn among many. I won't bore you with the details. Doubtless you are aware of the greater contextual framework of the story. The hell you are! You aren't aware of jack shit. You're just full of question marks. Oh, of course. How thoughtless for me. See, yet another unfortunate side effect of luminous conversation with the narratively limited. He taps a thumb and forefinger to his orb. Perhaps it would suit you better to understand gradually. And when I say gradually, please understand that I mean it. You won't be leaving. But yes, I do believe this will clarify some things for you. This way, please. He opens the door and gestures inside. There's a light coming from in there, but it still gives off the vibe of a dark closet door in an unfamiliar bedroom at 3 a.m. You're afraid, yeah, but you want to understand even more. You stand up and take a step, conscious of the movement of the muscles in your legs. With the rosy sheen of friendship hypnosis or whatever the fuck you did to you gone, the sensation of moving your own body feels heightened, important, yours. There's probably a version of you that would try to turn him down, or that would fight, or run, or take a nap on the surprisingly comfortable antique furniture. You even consider rushing back to say goodbye to somebody, anybody, at least, but you know there isn't time to click through all that bullshit. Those tributaries flicker in your mental periphery, so tangible you can almost see yourself choosing one, but you pull your focus back to your presence and look him right in the orb. And you just have to trust they'll remember you because you become after this journey, after all this friendship and growth and death and time, that you need to understand. You owe it to your friends, but even more you owe it to yourself. You found your river, and you're going to see where it leads. So you follow him. Sit here, please. In the interest of expediency, I will leave you to your own devices while I go deal with an expected but entirely unwanted guest. It shouldn't be too hard to parse out the truth on your own. All you need is to do is read a brief webcomic. And so you guys might not be able to see it, but Homestuck actually appeared in my web browser, so which is kind of funny. Anyways, let's approach the house, since that is our last option that we need to do. There's nothing else for. Also as reference before I continue this, his conversation with an unwanted guest is with, spoilers alert, with Jack Noir. I think it's Jack Noir entering. No, not Jack Noir. The Black Spades dude, whatever his name is, that's in his house, which happens in the few thousand pages mark, and yeah, and it took me several months to read through it all, but that's because I wasn't reading it continually. There's about 8,000 some pages. Anyways, there's nothing else for it. You make your way toward the house, even though everything inside you is screaming for you to stay away. Even though with every step you take, your chest tightens and your hands tremble. By the time you reach the door, you're shaking like a leaf. Adrenaline zings through you. You could choke on it. You want to run, but you force yourself to keep moving forward. It's a slow motion race between you and the sunrise. At this rate, the sun will be away in the sky before you can even nod. This is repeat, so I hope, and so it looks like that is the end. So I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path, forever it might lead you into the future. Goodbye.